was left?
Well, because stuff was sold.
It hasn't gone anywhere, it's still there.
Well, a whole bunch of it's gone. Right? The thing with the crown lands, and we didn't get to this, but the thing with the crown lands is, because all the good government land had been sold by 1893, and between 1865 and 1893, crown lands or king's lands are inalienable, right? So you have empty virgin ahupua'a. You don't have a place where somebody has 5 house lots in the middle of an ahupua'a where I have to go buy out. You have vacant ahupua'a. The crown lands, Naboth's Vineyard is the crown lands. The crown lands were coveted by 3 entities. The first entity was Sanford Dole. The second entity was the plantation owners. The third entity was the United States government. All 3 of these entities coveted that which they could not have, that which was inalienable since 1865, right? This is the parallels with Naboth's Vineyard. Naboth could not have sold to Ahab because in that place there was a law that said any inheritable lands you cannot sell. If you bought land, you can sell that to someone else. If you inherited from your father, you can only pass down to your children. You could not sell, right? So Naboth could not have sold his vineyard to Ahab had he wanted to. Any of the mo'is, any of the kings and queens could not have sold the crown lands because in 1865 the crown lands were made inalienable. The entity that is leasing the crown lands from 1865 to 1895 is Sugar. Sugar is not buying lands from 1840s to the 1850s. Ranches are buying lands because that's the dominant economy between 1840 and 1870. 1872, discover oil in Pennsylvania. Whale oil goes down, petroleum discovered, whaling goes down, sugar starts to rise. Sugar is not the dominant economy until the 1880s, 90s, 1900s. Sugar is not buying the land that they're on, that they're leasing, until post-1900. Sugar cannot buy the crown lands because the crown lands are inalienable. I covet the lands that I'm leasing. I want to buy them. How do I get Naboth's vineyard? He can't sell them to me. Well, let's go use the justice system, remove Article 39 from the 87 Constitution, use the 1894 Constitution to confiscate, use the 1894 Constitution to make alienable. Now, all of a sudden, the inviolable is violated. Right? The third entity is Sanford Dole. Sanford Dole wants the crown lands for homesteads. His perspective on how to build the country is actually opposite of the plantations. He's a Thomas Jeffersonian yeoman farmer. The way you build a country is on the back of small farmers. Right? So he wants to encourage Americans to come to Hawaii to offset the demographic vote. Because Americans are the demographic minority compared to the Japanese and Chinese who came here in the 50s, 60s, 70s, had kids. Those kids give birth on the island. Nationals, right to vote, right? That's where in 1894 you also get the citizenship laws. In order to be a citizen, a voting citizen, you need to speak this level of English to disenfranchise the Japanese, Chinese. Hawaiians are already dying through this period, so they're demographically not worried about the Hawaiians, worried about the Chinese and the Japanese. How do we disenfranchise them? English, make English. It's racism, right? How do we not exclude the Japanese race, but we do it through language imposition? You got to speak English, right? And so those 3 entities all covet the crown lands, and they come up with a way to make the inviolable violable through overthrow of the country and use of the justice system, right? This is where this could not be more parallel to Naboth's vineyard, right? Both Hawaii in its entirety on one, but more specifically, the confiscation of the crown lands. Right?